Greetings everyone. I hope this message finds you well. Welcome to Anime Dreams. I extend a warm welcome to all of you to my YouTube channel. Today's topic for our fanfic exploration is: what if young Naruto were an ANBU commander? Disclaimer: the content provided on this channel is intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. I do not own any of the anime footage featured in my videos. All rights and credits belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Let us proceed with. In the aftermath of Mizuki's defeat, within Sarutobi's office, Commander Dragon remarked with admiration, "Remarkable skill." He had been thoroughly impressed by Naruto's confrontation with the traitor and envisioned the potential value of such talent within his own ranks. Since the age of 10, Naruto had demonstrated an exceptional ability to outmaneuver and outwit Dragon's own operatives. The young Jinchuriki's stealth, even when dressed in bright orange, and his capability to produce numerous clones effortlessly marked him as a prime candidate for ANBU. Despite his youth, Dragon recognized that Naruto's skills would be incredibly beneficial. Convincing the Hokage to take such a young recruit seemed like a formidable challenge. Indeed, his chakra reserves are substantial, and his proficiency with transformation techniques, truly a form of shapeshifting, indicates he possesses more potential than any of the current graduates, Sarutobi noted with a chuckle as he lit his pipe. Dragon's interest piqued further. Shapeshifting, as in not merely an illusion? Dragon asked, astonished, as the Hokage confirmed. His excitement was palpable. Shapeshifting required immense chakra reserves, and such capabilities were usually limited to certain bloodlines. If Naruto could master the transformation into animals or even inanimate objects, the potential applications were immense. "I must have him," Dragon asserted decisively. The Hokage and the ANBU guards exchanged surprised glances, questioning whether their commander had finally lost his composure. Sarutobi swiftly addressed the matter. "Absolutely not. He's now a Genin, according to the headband Iruka has given him, and thus eligible for ANBU. Hokage-sama, you must recognize his latent talent. His academy reports suggest he should have graduated 3 years ago," Dragon argued, noting Sarutobi's slight discomfort. The Hokage had been displeased to discover from Naruto's file that he should have graduated at the age of 9 rather than failing multiple times. The failure in the ninjutsu portion did not preclude graduation, but Naruto's repeated failures in other sections were a result of intentional alterations to his tests. Sarutobi had been unaware of the discrepancies in Naruto's file and would have awarded him an honorary graduation had he not stolen the scroll. Despite Sarutobi's regret, admitting Naruto into ANBU at such a young age was still a difficult decision. Naruto has just achieved Genin status and will be placed under Kakashi's supervision. I am confident that Kakashi will provide adequate training, and we can consider recruitment in a few years, Sarutobi replied firmly. While most would acquiesce, Dragon was not easily deterred. He had once survived 10 Iwa Chunin and Jonin with minimal resources and had no concept of backing down when it came to village safety. Kakashi's current ineffectiveness and the likely presence of the Uchiha as his teammate are concerns. Forming bonds with a potential traitor is ill-advised, Dragon continued, sensing Sarutobi's hesitation. Moreover, integrating Naruto into ANBU, an organization directly accountable to the Hokage, would ensure his protection should any misfortune befall you. Keeping Naruto out of the public eye for several years might also help mitigate the public's animosity. Upon his emergence, he will be granted the rank he rightfully deserves. Dragon did not disclose his hope that a few years would amount to at least a decade. He saw this as a long-term investment, nurturing one exceptional ANBU rather than training several who might depart due to stress or other factors. His previous success with Tenzo, who remained committed without burnout, reinforced this view. Dragon chose not to reveal his plans for Naruto's rapid advancement to captain level within 2 years, aware that Sarutobi was cautious about accelerating ninja training. "Very well. I will consent to this for a time. What squad do you suggest?" Sarutobi sighed. He sensed it was for the best, for all parties involved, especially the boy he failed, and maybe the squad he was assigned would turn Naruto into a fantastic shinobi. "I think Ro would be best. Tenzo can train him into the ground, help him with a fox, and give him some manners. That, or kill him for his boisterous personality. Maybe this isn't a good idea? Nah, your genius knows no bounds, dragon. Another hour had passed as the two men meticulously discussed matters such as living arrangements and strategies to enhance Naruto's diet. Dragon was in the midst of humorously suggesting, mostly in jest, shock therapy to alleviate the addiction when the door swung open. His new subordinate entered, carrying the scroll, its bright orange hue cutting through the night. Even Dragon was taken aback by the subordinate's agility in such an outfit. He could only imagine the skill they would display in more suitable attire. He composed himself, though it was not visible, to deliver the news. After all, who wouldn't want to join ANBU? 30 minutes later. Naruto spoke, his gaze unfazed by the commander, accustomed to the presence of Gigi's sentry even during private conversations. He felt a wave of self-reproach. His own lapse in judgment had led to his teacher being hospitalized overnight. The nurse's looks of disdain when he handed over his injured mentor seemed, for once, justified. He knew he needed to become stronger to prevent such occurrences in the future. The Hokage's position felt empty. If he couldn't protect one person, how could he safeguard the entire village? Well, I'm pleased to see you took the news about your tenant in stride, Sarutobi said, wincing at Naruto's look of betrayal but pressing on, and I want to discuss your graduation. I didn't pass? Naruto's internal panic surged. The only reason he had failed previously was the troublesome clone jutsu. Now that he had mastered the technique, well, a variant of it, what was the issue? How could he protect his precious few if he was forced to repeat another year at the academy? Oh, you passed, Naruto. Don't worry about that. It's just. Sarutobi hesitated, his resolve wavering. He felt uneasy about the situation. Fortunately, or unfortunately, the Hokage remained uncertain. His most trusted ninja showed no signs of trepidation and seemed almost gleeful, like a child with a new toy. Sarutobi hoped Naruto would manage to handle Dragon's apparent personal aversion to his ramen habit. Originally, you would have been assigned to a team with Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Kakashi Hatake. However, placing you on a standard Shanan squad would be ill-advised, both due to your unique abilities and the security risks of having two high-priority targets on the same team. Consequently, you will not be assigned to a conventional team for the time being. Instead, you will be under my command. Welcome to ANBU. Sarutobi's explanation was somewhat embellished, but Naruto accepted it, though somewhat bewildered. He recognized Dragon as the top ANBU operative. Swallowing nervously, he nodded in agreement. Why am I a high target? He inquired. While Sasuke, as the last Uchiha, was understandably significant, Naruto couldn't fathom why he himself would be considered a target. You are a Jinchuriki, one who harbors a tailed beast. This status makes you a valuable asset to Konoha, Dragon interjected, dismissing the Hokage's attempt to soften the truth. It's a harsh reality, but it is the truth. In times of conflict, enemy villages will prioritize eliminating you, and missions you undertake could be sabotaged in attempts to capture or kill you. By being part of ANBU, you can operate covertly while training to become resilient enough to face these threats. His bluntness was refreshing to Naruto. Unlike the Hokage, who had consistently offered comforting but deceptive explanations regarding his isolation, Dragon's honesty, though harsh, was appreciated. Naruto found it curious that he was more desired by outsiders than by those within his own village, but he attributed it to the fox within him rather than himself. What Commander Dragon should have conveyed, Naruto, is that the shadows will offer greater safety for the next few years. I regret not providing you with the same training from the start as other Jinchuriki receive. In ANBU, I can rectify that oversight. If you wish to leave the forces upon reaching Jonin level, you may do so at that time. Sarutobi smiled warmly at his surrogate grandson, though the smile faded as Naruto responded with a somewhat stiff bow. Understood, Hokage-sama. I am ready for my first post. Naruto wasn't sure how he felt at the Hokage, but he knew the leader screwed him over. From the sounds of things he should have been trained or at least told of his burden not kept in the dark. Normally he would just brush the incident under the rug, but this time his mouth wouldn't let the easy forgiveness come out. Sarutobi knew he screwed up. Losing Naruto's affectionate nickname coupled with the barely held contempt means he lost his respect and trust. Besides being a personal issue, the Jinchuriki had to stay loyal to the reigning Hokage to keep political power in check. He had to gain his trust back. "I'll make it up to you, Naruto. I promise." Dragon seemed pleased by Naruto's acceptance. If the kid refused or threw a fit, he would have been hard-pressed to have the Hokage's backing. Based on his records, Naruto might not have anticipated this, yet the possibility was always present. "Join me, Naruto. The men are prepared for the bonfire." He rubbed his hands together, eager with anticipation. This was something they had been looking forward to for years. Every ANBU member assigned to Orange duty had long fantasized about this moment. Naruto blinked in confusion, noting the dark chuckles from those around him. "A bonfire?" he inquired with uncertainty. It couldn't be what they implied, could it? "It's for your jumpsuits. Don't worry, you'll be issued ample uniforms and civilian clothes at HQ," he explained. A loud no echoed through the village as Naruto's cries of distress reverberated. At ANBU HQ, Naruto followed Dragon through dimly lit corridors that carried a faint odor of blood. At the quartermaster's office, Naruto had signed a binding contract in blood, committing to at least 7 years of service unless incapacitated or specifically advised otherwise by the Hokage. He looked at the uniform handed to him, a size extra small ANBU gear set. The mask, intended to resemble a mouse with red whisker marks and a black nose, appeared somewhat indistinct to him. Naruto's anxiety was palpable, and he was too nervous to dwell on the apparent jest regarding his stature and immaturity. They soon arrived at the locker rooms. "Locker 123 is yours, Mouse. Change into your uniform and bring your old clothes to the communal area, 2 doors to the right. Tonight, you can stay in the dormitory, and tomorrow, before team practice, your captain will help you find an apartment in the ANBU complex." ANBU complex? Naruto raised an eyebrow. He had never located where ANBU members resided, otherwise, he might have attempted to prank them. Perhaps that was why he had never discovered their whereabouts. "Yes, the complex. It consists of apartment buildings exclusively for ANBU and approved jonin. Your residency will go unchallenged, and your accommodations will remain secure. While I have no influence over your activities during your free time, I must remind you that pranking high-level ninjas living nearby could jeopardize your safety," Dragon said smoothly. It was evident he took pleasure in unsettling Naruto. "Understood, Dragon-sama," Naruto replied, ensuring to use the appropriate honorific. He had learned the hard way that attempting a nickname could result in unintended consequences. Naruto contemplated the implications for his plans of off-duty mischief. "Glad you understand. Now, put on your uniform. Masks must be worn on duty outside the base but may be kept on your belt within HQ." "And you?" Naruto asked, noticing Dragon still wore his heavy cloak and mask even within HQ. "I'm the commander, Mouse. I'm perpetually on duty, and my identity is classified at the S-class level, even from my subordinates." With that, his new leader walked away, signaling the end of the discussion. 10 minutes later, Naruto entered the common room, his mask attached to his belt, and absent-mindedly rubbed his ANBU tattoo. Inside, around 40 ANBU members, both on and off duty, were gathered around piles of his discarded clothes. Snacks were being distributed, and cameras were at the ready. Despite their elite status, the atmosphere seemed surprisingly ordinary. Naruto marveled at the thought of becoming one of them, even though he felt he had yet to prove his worth. A man with a faceplate headband and distinctive eyes noticed him from a circle of chattering agents and beckoned him over. "Welcome, Naruto, mask name Mouse. I am your captain, Tenzo. During missions, refer to me as Tiger. These are your teammates, Yugao, mask name Cat, and Hikaru, mask name Wolf." Tenzo, now identified, was formal and authoritative. Naruto, still adjusting to the realization of his current status, responded in a manner uncharacteristically subdued for him. "Thank you, Captain." I apologize if my lack of skills causes any inconvenience. Naruto attempted to adopt a respectful tone, aware that his usual exuberance might not be well received. His polite demeanor surprised Tenzo's other team members, who were accustomed to Naruto's boisterous behavior and ambitious dreams of becoming Hokage. Hikaru, a known supporter of Naruto's previous escapades, decided his new teammate needed to lighten up or risk becoming overly serious. He flicked his long brown hair and gave Naruto a smirk reminiscent of a Hyuga. "Oi! Chibi, what's a kid like you doing on Team Ro?" Hikaru, eager to have Naruto as a squad mate, was a fan of humor himself, albeit not on duty. He sensed Naruto needed a nudge to rediscover his lighter side, especially after Mizuki's recent attempts on Naruto's life had been dealt with by numerous visitors. Naruto's irritation was evident. "Who are you calling a chibi? And I'll have you know, I'll be kicking your ass one of these days." Just like that, Naruto's old self emerged, albeit more subdued and wearied by recent betrayals. It was as though a slight burden had lifted as he defended his height and capabilities. "Humph, I'll believe it when I see it. Now, dispose of your jumpsuit in the fire and let us commence the celebration." Hikaru urged Naruto towards a contained fire pit. Naruto's face drained of color at the thought of discarding his suits. It wasn't that he particularly cherished the color orange, he preferred red, or that he found jumpsuits comfortable, they were rather cumbersome, but they had served a purpose. If he could outmaneuver the elite and make an impression on the Hokage monument while wearing them, he could do so in anything. They had become a symbol, a means of not being overlooked by the villagers. However, Naruto sensed that the ANBU in the room would compel him to burn them if he refused, and he had no illusions of overcoming dozens of elite operatives. After a brief moment of reflection, Naruto gathered his resolve and cast the suit into the flames, determination evident in his eyes. "This was my past. Now, I am a new individual, an ANBU recruit. I will become strong enough to prevent tonight from repeating or ending in tragedy." Cheers resonated through the room, and a hand patted him on the back. A lizard ANBU playfully ruffled his hair, while Hikaru attempted to feed him a rice ball. Before the night ended and he collapsed into a creaky dormitory bed, Naruto felt that the ANBU had already become a more welcoming home than his previous one. The following day, Naruto examined his new quarters, his 3 boxes of belongings neatly stacked in the corner. Given the frequent break-ins in Naruto's previous apartment in the red light district, it seemed prudent not to accumulate too many possessions. He dropped the duffel bag containing 3 additional uniform sets and 6 off-duty outfits, ANBU pants and long-sleeved black or green shirts, on the new brown couch. As he surveyed his surroundings, he couldn't understand why this apartment was half the cost of others. It was small, plain, and yet perfect. Naruto's grin widened, his excitement palpable. "This is fantastic. Look at this couch, so firm. And the window, no drafts. The kitchen, fully functional appliances. And the bedroom, so comfortable." He dashed from one spot to another, like a headless chicken. Captain Tenzo shook his head at his newest recruit's exuberance, attributing it to Naruto's lack of exposure to such amenities. Yugao chuckled, and Hikaru joined in, bouncing around with equal enthusiasm. Yugao face-bombed at the antics of the 2 youngest members. "Hikaru, Naruto's apartment is identical to yours. There's no need for you to act like a hyperactive child." She struggled to comprehend how Hikaru had become an ANBU despite his abilities in taijutsu and ninjutsu. His carefree demeanor was perplexing. Naruto was an exception, he was young, and both Yugao and Tenzo were determined to mold him into a respectable member of Team Ro. They had a reputation to restore, having once been the top squad before Itachi's defection and Kakashi's departure tarnished their image. As Yugao watched Hikaru playfully teasing Naruto from the ceiling, she wondered if it was already too late for a complete transformation. "Hey, Yugao-senpai?" Naruto's voice interrupted her thoughts. "Who are my neighbors?" He knew Yugao lived across from him, Hikaru to her left, and Captain Tenzo had a larger apartment to her right. The prospect of having neighbors excited him. However, his squad members winced collectively. "Well, there's a reason this apartment is so affordable," Tenzo began. Kakashi is quiet as a mouse and lies to your right, Yugao continued, hugging herself. And to your left. Hikaru's voice echoed from the ceiling, is a figure so formidable that even a single word about him has become forbidden. They all shuddered together, but Naruto remained skeptical. He can't be that bad. I bet you're all just trying to scare me. Yosh. I hear I have a youthful new neighbor to embrace the springtime of youth with. A loud voice boomed from Naruto's doorway, accompanied by the most startling sight imaginable, a figure clad in green spandex. The figure flashed a sparkling smile and gave a thumbs up. I am the exceptionally youthful Mito Guy, Konoha's green beast of youth. Welcome, youthful friend. It is most youthful to be an ANBU at such a young age. Naruto's face turned pale as the enthusiastic figure grasped his hand in a handshake that spun him around the room. Naruto soon realized that none of his new colleagues were present. Traitors, he thought. Do the bonds we forged mean nothing? Meanwhile, his teammates, each in their own apartments, silently expressed their regret to their youngest new comrade. "You Uzumaki Naruto, nice to meet you," he managed to say amidst the pounding on the floor. Guy would have continued, but a detached voice interrupted him. Guy. Don't frighten our neighbor before I have a chance to meet him." The voice belonged to a cyclopean figure engrossed in the same orange book Naruto had seen the Hokage reading. The man's eye widened and then narrowed when he noticed Naruto in his ANBU gear. Great, another adversary, Naruto thought glumly. Unbeknownst to Naruto, Kakashi was scrutinizing the fact that his secret younger sibling and prospective student was clad in high-security ANBU gear, with his tattoo still fresh. Whoever placed him in ANBU at his age will have to account for every jutsu I test on them, Kakashi seethed. Kakashi Hatake was many things, a failure as a teammate and elder brother among them, but he could not tolerate a newly promoted Jinan, barely passed, being thrust into the core. He needed information before confronting his evidently misguided Hokage. "My name is Kakashi Hatake. Who are you? You're rather young to be an ANBU, aren't you? Just 11? Kakashi queried, hoping for some insight. "Uzumaki Naruto, and yes, I know I'm younger and less experienced than typical ANBU recruits, but the Hokage and commander saw fit to place me here for a reason. And I'm 12, not that small," Naruto retorted, his frustration evident. Kakashi chose to ignore the tone, his focus shifting to a particular cage. His old team arrived shortly after, clearly avoiding the intimidating presence of his best friend. Observing Naruto in an affectionate embrace while discussing youth, Kakashi couldn't fault them. He promptly pulled his junior colleague into the hallway. "Tenzo," he said coolly, "why is my future student in ANBU?" His anger was palpable, suggesting consequences for any misleading answers. Tenzo met Kakashi's gaze steadily. "Senpai, you will need to address that with the Hokage. As far as I know, Naruto was assigned to my squad due to his potential as both a ninjutsu specialist and an expert in tracking and traps with his shadow clones. And no offense, but you've never shown an interest in him before. Just because you feel a debt to his father doesn't mean you can neglect him until it becomes convenient for you. If you'll excuse me, I have a limited time frame to train a Jinan into an ANBU operative." Tenzo left Kakashi stunned and peeked into the doorway just as Guy offered to start early morning training with Naruto. "Training? Yes." Naruto responded eagerly. Training was always welcome, though he had yet to experience Guy's methods. "Yosh. Then I will wake you at 4 tomorrow, my most youthful neighbor." "Ah, time to go. Naruto, create 2 clones and have them review the rules and code of conduct books I left in your bag. We'll train until 9 tonight." Naruto nodded and donned his mask, assuming the persona of Mouse. Though his neighbors might eventually learn his identity, he preferred to remain obscure to the general ninja and villagers. "Yes, Captain." He refrained from adding Captain Fish Eyes, acknowledging Dragon's disapproval. Yugao placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder and transported them to Team Rose training grounds. Training grounds, 2 hours later. Naruto practiced katas in slow motion with Tenzo while 10 clones focused on tree climbing under Yugao's supervision. Another 10 clones worked on the Shuriken Shadow Clone technique with Hikaru. As Naruto concentrated on his forms, Tenzo clarified their situation. We have 4 weeks of uninterrupted training. Each day from 6 a.m., following Guy's session, until 9 p.m., I will push you to your limits. This first week will be dedicated to solidifying your fundamentals and, ideally, mastering both the Shuriken Shadow Clone and tree climbing techniques. Like all ANBU operatives, you will need to perform Kawarimi without seals, as it is a crucial technique that has saved many lives. Afterward, we will introduce water walking, Shunshine, Kenjutsu, and an elemental attack. You will also need to memorize the ANBU signs and rule book, as well as the map of the Land of Fire. I can already perform Kawarimi without seals, Naruto said, slightly embarrassed as Tenzo's eyes widened in disbelief. Show me, Tenzo demanded. Naruto swiftly replaced himself with his backpack positioned 100 feet away. I had nothing better to do last summer and read in a book that performing Kawarimi without seals was a matter of chakra control, so I thought it would benefit my clones, Naruto explained, omitting the 7 months of daily practice required to achieve this. Well, excellent work. We will use that time for general hand speed practice and battle experience with Kawarimi. What comes next? Naruto questioned, his brow furrowed as Tenzo adjusted his elbow position with a twig to correct his grappling technique. Following this, our team will be assigned to guard and patrol missions in non-essential areas for the next 2 months to reinforce our teamwork. During this period, we will continue to refine your speed, evasive maneuvers, taijutsu, and kenjutsu skills. Additionally, the core trap specialist will begin to enhance your abilities in that area. I have allocated 2 hours each evening over these 3 months for you to develop a new skill, either Fuinjutsu, advanced ninjutsu, or additional weaponry. Which would you prefer? Naruto pondered his options. While advanced ninjutsu was appealing, Tenzo had already indicated that Naruto's control needed significant improvement before he could master additional techniques. Weaponry was essential, but Naruto already dedicated 3 hours 6 days a week to it, making further practice unnecessary. That left Fuinjutsu, or sealing techniques. I choose Fuinjutsu, Captain, Naruto responded quietly, adhering to the rule of maintaining a serious demeanor during training. Tenzo nodded, satisfied with both his choice and his tone. An excellent choice, Mouse. Although my knowledge extends only to the basics, I believe you will find the art relatively accessible, Tenzo remarked with a knowing smile. Naruto was about to inquire further when Tenzo interrupted. Take a 10-minute break. It's time we properly introduce ourselves beyond names. The 4 ninjas sat in a circle on the grass while their clones continued their tasks, their masks resting beside them. Let's take this opportunity for formal introductions. Share your likes, dislikes, hobbies, and aspirations. I'll start. My name is Tenzo. I have a fondness for Konoha, tea ceremonies, nature, and reading architecture books. I dislike traitors, those who harm nature, and excessive noise. Naruto winced slightly at the mention of noise, his aim to avoid irritating his captain. Though I'm busy as the captain of Team Ro, I enjoy gardening. My dream is to strengthen Konoha and help each of you become stronger. Yugao spoke next. I'm Yugao Uzuki. I enjoy my boyfriend Hayate, Konoha, Dango, and swords. I dislike those who belittle Kenjutsu and those who abandon their comrades. My hobbies include sparring and visiting hot springs. My dream is to become the world's greatest Kenjutsu practitioner. Yo! I'm Hikaru Hyuga, the best Hyuga around. Hikaru's introduction was light-hearted and playful, eliciting a smile from Naruto. I like my clan, Konoha, and having fun. I dislike seriousness, my clan's caged bird seal, and those who disapprove of pranks. My hobbies are playing pranks and origami. My dream is to become an ANBU commander and start a family. Hikaru's spirited tone brought a smile to Naruto's face, which quickly faded as Hikaru's attention turned to him. Your turn, Chibi. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen, Hokage-sama, though Naruto privately added, even if I don't fully trust him, and my new teammates. I dislike traitors, mockery, and the 3-minute wait for ramen to cook. My dream was to become Hokage, but now I aim to become strong enough to protect my loved ones. As Naruto finished, he didn't notice the small smiles shared among his teammates, a sign of his growing suitability for the role. Good job! We have 3 months to prepare Naruto for B&A class missions, let's get to work. Yugao's resolve was evident as Tenzo spoke, while Hikaru and Naruto expressed their excitement. Oi! Act your age, Hikaru. And Naruto, focus. Yugao admonished. Naruto straightened up immediately, but Hikaru looked disheartened. Ah, but Yugao-senpai, I'm only 15. Let me have some fun with the chibi, Hikaru pouted. Naruto resisted the urge to retaliate, mindful of his limited chances of success, as proven the previous night. Hokage's office. You've allowed Naruto into ANBU? Are you out of your mind, Hokage-sama? Kakashi's normally calm demeanor was strained, as evidenced by the absence of his book. Sarutobi sighed, exasperated by the repetitive questions. We've discussed this before, Kakashi. Naruto is now one of my personal ANBU operatives, not your future student. But I was supposed to. If you wanted to take on the role of his mentor, you should have approached him at the academy after his initial failure, as I suggested. It's too late to change my decision now. Kakashi's head drooped in shame, acknowledging his lapse in responsibility. However, Sarutobi continued, lifting Kakashi's spirits, if you offer to provide Naruto with tracking or ninjutsu lessons on his days off, Sundays, I believe, I would have no objections. Kakashi's face brightened at the opportunity. Understood, Hokage-sama. With a puff of smoke, Kakashi departed. Sarutobi watched him leave, his confidence in defending his decision wavering as he reflected on the future. I don't. He has already shown significant emotional stability under Tenzo's guidance, and Guy will assist with his endurance training each morning as a personal favor to me. Naruto is integrating quite well. The voice emerged from the shadows, but Sarutobi recognized it regardless of any vocal distortions or chakra concealment. Dragon, he said quietly. Report on last night's initiation. Dragon chuckled. The bonfire was a success, perhaps too successful. Hikaru began performing a ritualistic dance. Honestly, if not for his distinctive eyes, I would not have guessed he hailed from a prestigious clan that values its image so highly. Sarutobi snorted in response. That remark could apply to you as well, especially in the past. Perhaps. After a pause, Sarutobi spoke again. Is it wise to remove Naruto from the village for 3 months? I believe so. This period will allow Naruto time to recover after learning about his burden and provide an opportunity for him to fade from the villagers' immediate concerns. True, but what about not informing Iruka and his classmates? Dragon shrugged off the concern. Most ANBU prefer to keep their identities concealed, even if it's not explicitly forbidden among allies. Keeping Naruto occupied will also prevent him from pranking HQ or the village, especially given his ability to create multiple clones. Both shuddered at the thought. Point taken, my friend. 4 a.m., the following day. Naruto was abruptly awakened by being thrown against the ceiling. Yosh! Good morning, my youthful neighbor. Let us ignite our flames of youth and embrace a more youthful day. Naruto groaned and reached for his uniform. Give me 5 minutes to get dressed, he mumbled. Guy gave a thumbs up in the darkened room, and his blinding smile made Naruto squint. As Naruto struggled to put on his pants and shirt, Guy's patience wore thin and he helped Naruto change into a green jumpsuit. By 9 a.m., Naruto, now looking irate and disheveled, trudged to Ro's training ground. His teammates struggled to contain their laughter, with Hikaru even snapping a photo. You look exceptionally youthful this morning, Tenzo commented with a straight face. From that day forward, Naruto set his alarm for 10 minutes before 4 and ensured he was fully dressed before Guy arrived. 6 days later, Sunday at noon. After an intense 8-hour workout with Guy and his clone, Naruto was dragging himself up the steps. While other shinobi might have been sore for weeks, Naruto found that a hot shower and a relaxing afternoon with ramen alleviated his aches. However, waiting outside his door was Kakashi, his least favorite neighbor. Kakashi had explained his peculiar behavior during their first meeting. Apparently, he was to be Naruto's Jonin sensei, but Naruto still found him off-putting, with his book always in hand and his tendency to watch without engaging. However, adhering to his captain and Yugao senpai's lessons on manners, Naruto put on his most polite, and feigned, smile. "Hello, Kakashi. If you're seeking Captain Tenzo, he is on a mission today." Sundays were Tenzo's free days while the rest of the squad was on patrol. Kakashi's eye smiled behind his book. "I was actually looking for you, Naruto. My team won't be assigned for another week, and even then, it will be months before we undertake many missions. The Hokage mentioned that Sundays are your days off, correct?" Naruto nodded, and Kakashi's eye smile seemed to widen. "Excellent. How would you like to have tracking lessons every Sunday from noon until 7? Naruto grinned slightly. He was eager for additional training, and perhaps Kakashi wasn't so bad after all. Iruka, the day of team placements. A fuming Iruka announced the team placements to the students. Note, Sai replaces Naruto, and walked out. His favorite student was conspicuously absent. The ANBU commander had informed him that Naruto had an unusual placement, with a homeschooled student filling Naruto's spot on Team 7. Even the Hokage refused to divulge details, stating that Naruto would make contact if he chose and that his new assignment and living quarters were classified for Jonin and above. This left Iruka, a mere chunin, with no chance of uncovering the details about his troublesome student. "Oh Naruto, what have you gotten into now?" Returning home, Iruka collapsed at his desk, running his fingers over his scar and noting the mysterious file box on the bare wood. It wasn't uncommon for him to encounter such scenes. If the Hokage required a specific lesson to be taught or if Naruto's diet was lacking, a box or envelope would magically appear. Sighing, he opened the lid of the medium-sized file box, his interest piqued by the sticky note that read, "Real Naruto Uzumaki Files, Classified." As Iruka reviewed each report, test, and past graduation attempt, his frustration grew increasingly intense. By the end, he was moved to tears, realizing the extent of his mistakes. Reflecting on his actions, Iruka recognized his own shortcomings. He had neglected to call on Naruto in class, dismissing him based on other teachers' assessments that he would only cause trouble. Iruka had treated Naruto as a mere troublemaker, overlooking the fact that Naruto's pranks, while disruptive, were actually ingenious. Rather than acknowledging Naruto's intelligence and the complexity behind his pranks, Iruka had merely seen them as childish antics. He believed that treating Naruto to ramen once a week could make up for his lack of attention. Although Iruka felt he did not deserve a second chance, a note on the last page of Naruto's file offered a glimmer of hope. The note suggested that one day Naruto would visit him, giving Iruka a chance to apologize and make amends. Until that time came, Iruka had several teachers to address. 1 month later, on Iruka's first patrol. "This is it?" Naruto questioned, somewhat disappointed. He had anticipated that his appointment to ANBU would exempt him from the dreaded ranks that Kakashi often complained about. However, this C-rank patrol and guard duty at the hospital seemed like the ANBU equivalent of D ranks, lacking excitement, involving stealthily moving through rafters while suppressing his chakra, a skill he was still mastering, and enduring 12-hour shifts in uncomfortable positions. The 3 explosive notes he had prepared earlier were itching to be used, but explosives were not permitted in the hospital. His patrol partner, Yugao, tapped him on the head. "Yes, this is it. Did you expect ANBU to be all about assassinations and sabotage?" Naruto nodded seriously, having thought that was the case. "Well, it's not. Every squad handles both village duties and border patrol, alongside the more advanced missions. Now be quiet and guard the front lobby. And remember to use the radio and shadow clones for emergencies." Naruto sighed and proceeded to his assigned post. The ANBU assignments divided each floor into 2 sections. Team Rho was responsible for the bottom 2 floors, while another team managed the top 3. From his vantage point, Naruto had a clear view of all the hospital activity. It was exceedingly dull, but a heated exchange at the desk caught his attention. "Sir, please calm down." "I will not calm down. Not until you take me to my son." "A simple C-rank to River," they said. "Simple my foot, he's been in heart surgery for 6 hours." A burly civilian waved his fist menacingly, prompting the nurse to signal for intervention. "Code anger," Naruto murmured into his headset. This code indicated a civilian on the verge of violence. Positioning himself between the med-nin and the agitated father, Naruto recited the lines Captain Tenzo had drilled into him. "Sir, I apologize for the inconvenience, but the healers are doing their best. Please remain patient and take a seat." He gestured toward the nearest chair, feeling more like a crossing guard than a shinobi. A fist came towards him, but Naruto's training allowed him to catch the blow, using his chakra to match the strength of the much larger man. "Calm down? Absolutely not. You ninjas always boss us around, and I've had enough. He shouldn't even be a ninja. Take me to my son, now." At that moment, Yugao appeared behind the man and subdued him with a tranquilizer. Naruto nodded gratefully as 2 orderlies removed the unconscious father. Relieved, Naruto acknowledged the thankful but confused nurse, probably not accustomed to a 5'2" ANBU, and resumed his post. "Good work, Mouse," Yugao's voice praised through the headset. Naruto offered a small smile. Perhaps guard duty wasn't so bad after all. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe to my channel for more content. Best regards. Anime Dreams.